The advent of the smartphone has pretty much completely changed the way that we communicate. And why wouldn't it? Look, I mean, you can stick it in your pocket. It's affordable. It's convenient as can be. You've got instant access to anybody, anywhere, the web and email, and most recently and most popularly, text. And text is great, don't get me wrong. Love text. You can get to anybody in moments, and they can respond in moments, and they've got all the same convenience that we do. Text, however, has a couple of limitations that we need to be aware of if we don't want to get in trouble when we're sending that quick text. So the two that I want to look at today are what I like to refer to as less flavor and more calories. Why? Well, I don't know, I'm like that. I had to give it something that was more fun than context and impact. So, flavor and calories. Flavor is really what I'm talking about, is the context that both on our end, the context that we are sending that text from, and the context on the audience's end. Where are they and how are they when they're receiving it? Remember that when we send that quick message, because we live in our own heads, we're really sure of the context that we're sending it in. The audience doesn't live in our heads, and therefore they don't have that context when they get that quick note from us. So it's important that we include some context in the text that we're sending in order that there's a framework for somebody to receive it. Conversely, the person on the other end, our audience, could be having the worst day in the world. They could be having people yell at them. They could be in terrible traffic with Siri reading them the text that they don't want to hear right now. We don't know. But there's lots of room on the other end for confusion or misinterpretation that could cause things to go badly for us, even though our text was perfectly innocent or even positive. So, one of the challenges is less flavor, no context. The second challenge is what I refer to as more calories, or the possibility for greater impact, particularly on the negative side of the balance. If we send something off that we have not thought all the way through, and it shows up at the wrong time or in the wrong way, or somebody's in the wrong mood when they read it, things can go way off the rails. You may have been part of this already, where you send somebody an innocent note and half an hour later you get a note back and it's angry or confused, or maybe we're ghosted. Well, we didn't mean to tick anybody off. We certainly didn't intend to make anybody angry, but that's the way it went. And again, we can't blame our audience. It's our responsibility to think that through before we send it. So, before we hit the send icon, we should always be thinking, does the audience know what I know? Do they have my context? Am I using the right words to get them where I need them to go in the right way? Do I know what circumstance they're going to be viewing it under? And have I left any room in there for them to interpret things negatively? Because if those things are all misaligned, then it can all go terribly, terribly wrong. And it only takes a couple of minutes to walk through that checklist before we hit send. So I highly recommend that you do that. Remember that with great convenience comes great responsibility. That's it for today. Remember that communication is how we manage change, and we really need things to change. So I hope you will get communicating with intention. Join us again next time. Until then, if you have questions or comments, drop us a note at info@bettercoms.com or go to the website www.bettercoms.com and have a look at some of our other videos and our available free courses. And until next time, I hope that you stay well.